Hello, welcome to my 18th little daily log, sharing a window into my life to help others and to help myself. And this kind of started with my health, and it's kind of grown into things I'm thinking about, the struggles. Well, it started with my health struggles and the struggles of being a young Catholic man without support, who doesn't have family, and essentially the modern day bellwether for all the problems that our generation faces. And I do some other stuff, like we'll pray a bit, and yeah, come Holy Spirit. Hope you guys are doing well. Little update on how things are going. Currently, it's 1:41 a.m. and I am not asleep, as you can see. Although I'm looking well. I look actually quite good in this lighting, and it's a sign of me actually getting a lot healthier. The summer weather, more exercise, and I'm really grateful for that. I still a lot of struggles, but over the last week I was sick, and so that was tough, because I've been doing a lot more consistent with my sleep and energy levels. So yeah, that's a really hard thing to grapple with if you're someone who, like, especially wants to do a lot and there's a lot of responsibility on you. It's like, wow, I can't do it. I'm tired. My sleep's messed up. Or I'll have like bursts of energy or days of feeling horrible, but also not being able to sleep properly, even though I'm exhausted. So yeah, it really weighs down a person, especially a young person. Like, I'm 23. I just turned 23. It's like, that's like, what would you say? I'm blanking on the word, but essentially that's like a tragic, I think that was the word, a tragic young age to have these kinds of problems. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that I wrestle with, but I've been reading more, and that's been fun. Like getting back into reading and having more peace with just eating in silence, praying more, going to adoration. That's been really great. And yeah, there's lots I have to talk about. It's just, as soon as I got in the car, I got hit with the tired. Even though I couldn't sleep in bed, I now, in front of a camera and a ring light, I'm very fatigued. So, if it's a bit slow, that's why, as these night ones tend to be, although I really have wanted to be more consistent with making content. I really love to do that. And it would, if I can monetize it, it would really be a way out of essentially the ghetto for me, because I live in a bad neighborhood and I'm poor, all that kind of stuff. I have virtually no support. I'm surrounded by crime. I don't participate in the crime. And yeah. Sorry, let me just check on that noise. Speaking of crime and the ghetto, I was a man yelling. Not just like angry yelling, but he was like, ah. And yeah, stuff like that's pretty regular. That's the hard thing. I'm not living in like government housing. It's virtually impossible to get into government housing now. And that's talking to the government workers. They're like, yeah, there's like a lifelong list. People just don't get on. People just don't get housing ever. It's decades long, or they just don't get it now. And you have to go to more, like, I'm in Canada, by the way, and you have to go into more small cities of Canada to get a few years of a waiting list rather than decades or an infinite waiting list, but it's still a few years to get housing, and I don't even qualify. I like to say decent money, but compared to like $10,000 a month in expenses and debt, it's not good money. I just keep hearing something out there. So yeah, that's a tough thing too, is there's so many issues in this area. Oh, and I was gonna say, and I don't qualify for welfare because I make like over $1,600, and every like step you make over that, they or sorry, you don't qualify, I think, if you make over 1,600, and the closer you make to that, you lose money on the money they would give you, which I think is also max 1,600. And if you go on disability, it's a similar system where they would give you more money, but if you're making money, then they don't give you as much money. So from the fairly extensive amount of research I've done, I don't qualify for either of those. And yeah, I'm still living in poverty and all these things, and it's tough. It's really tough. And one of the big things, like literally the last 3 days in a row, there's been like person after person in like a really bad situation. I mean, twice today. Only the second time was not as bad that we had to call 911, but 3 days in a row I've had to call 911, each for a different person, each in my neighborhood. And I can't look after my life and help people. I was actually talking seriously to my roommate about emailing the city and being like, hey, I help a lot of people. You can check all the times I've called the police and EMS, and that's just me being in my neighborhood. Can I get on even like a part-time city payroll so I can continue to help people? Because currently I have to choose between getting things done and helping people, and that might mean all I do is call 911 and I can't go check on them. And for example, like there's a lot of drug use. Like I had to pick up Narcan or naloxone. I'm confusing the name as of late. It's not in here, but it's Narcan is one of the, I guess like the brands or something, and it's a nasal spray to reverse opiate overdose. And I went to like Shoppers Drug Mart to get some today, and the lady was literally like, I don't know if we have any left. And when she came back, she had found one, literally one, in like a Shoppers Drug Mart. Like they're well put together. Their stocks are shelved, or their stocks are shelved. Their shelves are stocked. Things are organized. They got 4 or 5 people working in the pharmacy, 4 of them just employees and 1 pharmacist. Like that's a serious operation, and they're higher end. Like everything's overpriced at Shoppers Drug Mart. And well, Narcan's free. It's covered by the government, thankfully. I think that's really good. Sorry, I just keep hearing stuff, man. I don't like doing these at night. Not just because it's a bad area, but because I don't bring the same energy. And even just the lighting makes a difference in the video experience. Although I do look fantastic. I know I've already said that once, but it's a big deal for me to not look like I'm a 35-year-old war veteran when I just turned 23, just because I'm in such rough shape, you know? God bless the troops and the veterans. That's not a diss to veterans, just to be clear. But if you go to war, you come back rough. And a lot of people fight wars in their own lives. Speaking from experience in my own life and a lot of everything I'm describing of being around, but with the Shoppers thing, like the lady, I said, why don't you guys have more? Is it because a lot of people are getting them? She goes, yeah. And I go, it's really bad, eh? And she goes, yeah, it's really bad. And that was the first time I've heard someone say, like at a pharmacy, like that they were selling out. And I haven't got it for like maybe a year or something, because I would get it for the church. I would get it for obviously myself because I was walking around a lot. in my city, and there's just like increasing amounts of homelessness and drug use and addicted homeless. That's the most common type of homeless person, is on drugs. A homeless person on drugs. So it's good to have these things. And yeah, literally the last like 3 days in a row I've had to call the police. 2 of those have been potential overdoses, and it's just like, did I say the police? EMS. I had to call 911 and get an ambulance. So like this is my normal life, and people don't get that. So that's something I'll be talking about in whatever next podcast I do, or videos in general, but like how disconnected the generation above us is, that they don't get what young Canadians are going through. And I'm not saying young Canadians are going through what I'm going through. I'm saying I'm a bellwether. I go through the most extreme stuff of what my generation's dealing with, because Canada is turning rapidly into a place filled with homelessness, and not just drug problems, but like crippling drug addiction that has people living for the drug. And that comes from a lot of emptiness, that comes from a lot of brokenness. If you ever meet someone, especially a child, like even a teenager, well, teenager especially, because they can explain it to you more than a child, but they've just been through such horrible sins against them. Like the step parents, the maybe foster system, maybe their own family's super broken, maybe their step family involved. There's the drugs, the poverty, the abuse, the generations of trauma that's been handed on. And you just like, you realize it's only natural for these people to go into that same cycle and to become that 30, 40-year-old homeless woman out of her mind on the streets, or that homeless man out of his mind on the streets, frail and old and kept alive by the drugs, because they're not eating, they're not drinking properly, they don't have good hygiene, they don't sleep properly. And yeah, like that's the kind of stuff I see increasingly. And I went through what makes people into that, but I never turned to the drugs. And that's not common. And most people, they turn to the drugs, they turn to crime, they turn to alcoholism, they turn to all of that. And I've talked about like what I did, because I had coping mechanisms that were sinful and wrong. But yeah, most people don't make it through what I've been through. And it's like important for me to say that, even though I say it often sometimes in these videos. It's important for me to say it for me, because I don't have adults in my life who recognize that, who understand that. I'm an adult, I understand, I'm 23, but I mean like people who are like parents to me or older siblings to me. You know, like you're supposed to have that. And that's why I love these videos that I make, and why I watch them myself. And I say like it's for others and for myself, because it's the voice of reason and the voice of God with love and compassion and truth that I don't hear altogether from anyone else. And I'm very disappointed in the way it's getting hot in here. Oh. I'm really disappointed in people's formation. Like, the fact that people don't have that love, gentleness, understanding of what the real world's actually like, and the imperfect steps towards perfection and holiness and getting your life together. But it's not about getting your life together. You need community, right? Like it's not all on you. It shouldn't be all on people. We just have a horrible worshipping of the individual, and essentially like isolation in the West, where it's like all about you, but also you don't need relationships, and also you can do everything on your own without community. It's just deeply pathologic and tragic, and I'm a bellwether to that too. So I wasn't gonna be a super downer, but I'm just riffing because like I said, I got super tired when I got in here. Yeah, and this is kind of just like practice. Just doing this log. It's like practice. I wanted to do it. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about stuff. Voila. Created a video. And it's good for me, right? It's good to remember that, like, I like looking back on these videos. And I hope I will get to look back on them and be like, wow, that's what I went through. And so I don't forget it, you know, like when I have my successful companies and businesses and I've moved to the US and, like, you know, all my plans could change in a moment. You know, some tragedy, some emergency, some accident could happen. But if things go just even decently, all those things and more will be true, and I don't want to lose sight of that. But I think it's pretty hard at this point. I'm pretty integrated. I've gone through a lot of healing. That's what I meant to say earlier. Like, I'm really disappointed in people's formation, that they don't come with the gentleness and the understanding of what the real world's really like, and the mercy, but also the truth with the love. Because love without truth, that's not really love. And truth without love, that's not really truth. One tends towards laxity and looseness. That is, love without truth is like lax. It's confusing. It's too lazy, you could say, with making sure to do the right thing. And then truth without love just tends towards coldness and using morality as a weapon and all these things. So neither of those are true or loving, but love and truth together is truly loving and truly true. And yeah, I don't see many people with that. And I've got my faults, and so it's like, I get people aren't going to be like that in every moment, although we all, I think, look for someone who is like that in every moment, and that's Jesus. Hello, Lord. And that's awesome. But we also need to encounter Jesus in people who are good to us, who protect us, who raise us up like good spiritual fathers. Like priests are supposed to be that. Every religious who's not married is supposed to be a father or mother at heart. And so to treat people more like that is a great goal. And you can still have fun and be like, cool person. Fatherhood and motherhood's not like a sterile thing. It's life-giving, right? It's really good and beautiful and fulfilling. We don't have that. I don't have that. And so I think my insight is a mix of just trying to pursue the truth. A few good mentors, like from a very far distance, like Jordan Peterson, making videos saying, tell the truth, at least don't lie, and try to learn what's true, and giving some humility, like someone might know something you don't, and he gave some good guidance to me growing up. And the truth thing, like pursue the truth, was a really good one. And then a lot of miracles from the grace of God and the sacraments and the church, and a lot of time with Jesus in the Eucharist. Catholics believe Jesus is fully present, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Eucharist, the host, or the thing that looks like bread, because it has the accidents of bread, but is actually transubstantiated, is transformed into Jesus Christ's real body, blood, soul, and divinity, his full and true presence when the priest consecrates the species of bread and wine at Mass. And the wine too becomes Jesus Christ's full body, blood, soul, and divinity. That's what we believe. It's not symbolic. We don't believe it's symbolic. We believe that's Jesus really present, incarnately, like physically, fully, truly. So a lot of time with Jesus there. And relationships is a big one. Like, you can't really know yourself without relationships, is what Aristotle taught. And I'm reading this dissertation on self-love being perfective of the human person and specifically like St. Thomas Aquinas on self-love. It's a great dissertation from a sister who went to the Catholic University of America. It's for her PhD, and I'm learning a lot from that. I really love that she's talking about it and covering it. And where does I go with that? Oh yeah, you need friendship in order to know yourself. And so having some good relationships over the last few years have really helped me in all this, because I was isolated and alone for a long time. But at the end of the day, it's like, wow, God's grace is really real, because people have not guided me well. Like, all the good principles I learned were from like little tidbits here or there, and just constantly asking the Lord to be my teacher and my guide, and going like, I don't know everything. But now I'm really at a point where I'm like, I know a lot. I don't know everything. But by a lot, I mean I know a really good foundation, a really strong foundation. And that's not just knowing, right? That's living it out with Jesus and following my conscience, living it out in everything I do, or trying to. And yeah, I've learned a lot. But I'm gonna go make a video for locals now, so go check out my locals. Also, I finished the financial transparency thing. It was a whole issue because I put it into ChatGPT and it was going really well. I spent a ton of hours on it, and then totally got botched by ChatGPT. And so I redid it. So if you want to know where the money's going, if you want to donate to my fundraisers, you can go on to GoFundMe or GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo is the explicitly Christian fundraising platform. Oh, that's cool. Did you hear that? I think it's an airplane. Like, maybe it's a motorcycle on a road, because we don't really get airplanes here, but the flight paths change. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do a lot of flying over where we live, because we're really close to the industrial area, like big factories with fireballs and big smokestacks, and they let all the nasty stuff at night, like right now. Maybe not right now. It's 2 a.m. I don't know what time, but they let it out at night for whatever reasons. They don't want people to see it, or I don't know. Maybe it affects people less because people are in their homes. Definitely, people are usually selfish. Usually selfish intentions are a good place to start. not a good place to start. I mean, for like life advice. I mean, just like why people do things that don't make sense. Okay, no. People do things for all kinds of different things, different reasons. I'm getting too much into a different rabbit hole. I'm gonna come out of the rabbit hole into another rabbit hole. No, not a rabbit hole, but fundraisers. I finished the transparency section. I'm gonna keep adding to them, like my testimony stuff. Maybe I'll add a video to the fundraiser so you can actually see, like, oh hey, it's Kyle. I will tell you about why I'm doing this fundraiser and yada yada. But I can't pay my bills. I have insane expenses every month. Man, I look really good. I know it sounds vain, but it's not vain. I've been very sick for a long time and haven't looked this good for a long time. I haven't looked like me for a long time. I look like an old, beaten up guy. I still kind of do, but this is a good step. A good progress mark or whatever. So yeah, I finished that stuff. Please check it out. I'll link it in the description of this video. And yeah, I'm gonna go over to locals and talk about just a little video, just because I want to start making premium content. So right, because you can subscribe to my locals. Right now it's $7 a month. It was $33 because I was like, Jesus was 33 and I want to make money off of this. And then I was like $3. And then I'm like, okay, that's too low. I don't want just anyone coming on here to just make fun of me. And if that happens, it happens, right? I'm on the internet, but $7, because that's like a quote unquote holy number. Not to get like scrupulous, but that's a number associated with holiness and completeness, fullness. $7 a month. I think it's USD though, so it would be more if you're paying as a Canadian, like whatever the conversion rate is. So maybe you'd pay, call it $8.50 now with like 1.3 conversion rate. That's a guess. I'm not going to do the mental math right now. It's a guesstimate. And yeah, I'm going to go over it there. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff I want to do. And ooh, spider. I feel like it would be tragic, and it already is tragic, but it would be tragic if I don't get to go on and share all the amazing stuff I've learned and share my talents and like my intellect. Like, I'm really smart, but I'm also really loving and I have really practical experience, and it can be such a gift to society and to people who want to be good and people who want to heal, and even for those who are hard of heart to hear the voice of God through us and convert through what I have to say, which I think is really come to a really great place. I'm really proud of what I believe and the values I stand for and all that, which is very different from a few years ago watching Jordan Peterson, or the time in between then and now where I was very hard on myself and I was never good enough. God became a tyrant, like the way I understood God essentially, but I was seeing through my own woundedness. And that's the thing, you got to heal. Like, when people when they aren't the way they're supposed to be, it's not just because they're broken. I'm very broken. I've been very broken. I'm still very broken. But I've healed a lot. I've been very, very healed by good relationships, by physical therapy, psychotherapy, by sleep, good sleep, food, consistent food, relationships. I think I already said that. That's one of the most important ones. Stability, theology, living my faith, the sacraments, that's all super healing. And prayer. Prayer is like the ultimate healing, you know. Receiving Jesus in the Eucharist is also up there with the ultimate healing. Good relationships are up there with the ultimate healing. Remember, your prayer, your time with God, that's your relationship with God. You gotta have a relationship with God. He calls us his friends. So yeah, I'm gonna go over to locals. Check it out, guys. I would really appreciate if you guys supported me and share this video. And if you have like people who think like me or who would like my videos, please share them with them. Please encourage them to donate to my fundraiser. And on GiveSendGo, you can explicitly not pay money and say like praying for this person. There's a button you can click. I forget what it's called, or like what they title it, like pray for the fundraiser or whatever. So I can explicitly see that you're doing that. I would really appreciate even if you're doing that and not donating money. I really want to see that you guys are praying for me. I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me if you guys did that. And GoFundMe doesn't have that. Boo. Frickin' commies. they're kind of GoFundMe's a whole bit of tyranny that I'm not going to get into right now, but I'm on there with the fundraiser because I need the money. And man, I would love to make this content so much more and do so much good study and get my psychotherapy degree. I'm thinking for physical therapies, I'd really like to do several over the decades, starting with like registered massage therapists and fascial stretch therapists. Maybe I'm saying them wrong. Fascial stretch therapists and fascial. There's two types of fascia therapists, two main ones, and there's some other like neurological ones that I really want to learn about to like rehabilitate the nervous system. Because you can have like good musculature, good bone health, and healthy muscles and all that, but your nervous system, the thing that like kind of sends them their signals, like not the skeletal system, not your skeleton, but your muscles can be fatigued, and that really botches you up. And we have I think a problem with that now more than ever, save maybe like the world wars or people who are constantly in a state of war. Like on a mass level, we have it worse than ever. But anyone who's ever grown up with like consistent childhood trauma or consistent instability in childhood or any time, it wires your nervous system in a way that can be very effective for what you're going through, but it can also easily get skewed and twisted and miss the mark, and you can get a lot of bad problems, not just health-wise, but with your virtue, the way you act, and doing the wrong things, and being reactive, and not trusting people, and seeing things in very black and white. And that's a good example of what people need to heal from. And we have that in so many degrees, like from social media, from young age, having horrible sleep cycles now in my generation, especially like Gen Z. Are we Gen Z? I keep getting it mixed up. I'm still healing from being sleep deprived for 5 months living in my car, so I forget stuff. Like, I've never forgotten stuff before in my life, and it's a problem, but it's getting better. So whatever generation I am, I'm born in 2002. Us, super messed up sleep schedule. I think we were one of the first generations to have a major messed up sleep schedule, and it was because of social media. Not just because of smartphones, but because of social media. And there's a lot of things that led to that, like having the ability to turn on the lights at night, and you can just like stay up all night reading or doing stuff because there's electricity. Then you can turn the lights on and have a temperature controlled room and whatnot, as opposed to like it's freezing at night and the fire, you're not going to tend to the fire all night, but also have enough light to like do whatever maybe. But if you could back then with a fireplace read your book, you were just there at the fireplace. Now with electricity and cars, you can go everywhere at every hour, and then you also have social media on top of that, and you're isolated because social media is like anti-social media. We use social media in an antisocial way, and we don't interact with people, and when we do, it's usually in a very parasocial way, which is like your boss is constantly mad at you. It's the crazy guy on the street, for me, living in this neighborhood. Or, what was the other thing I was going to say? Or just like fights, like just constant negative stuff. Like when we do interact with people, it's usually negative. Now that's like a pretty pretty overgeneralization, pretty big overgeneralization. But I'm the bellwether, right? So that's what I go through, and I see it more and more that is the case in people's lives. And if it's not the majority of their lives, it's very much like that's where the culture's headed. That's where our world, our Western world, Canada is headed. Canada's a big place. There's lots of different Canadian experiences. Same with the US. Like, I can't say it's all like that, but generally it's like that. And yeah, I'm gonna go make a little video on locals. Hope you guys will check that out. And hope to see you in the next one. And I hope these videos don't just stay on the internet for you. I hope they impact your heart, and I hope they're helpful. Leave me a comment if they were. If you have questions, if you want prayers. I'm really hoping to open my school community again too. It costs $9 US now instead of $99 US a month, because that was breaking the bank for me. So I might reopen it for $9 US a month. I have a deal with my roommate that once we clean some garbage cans on garbage day with a power wash that we'll rent for the day, then I can pay for this $9 USD subscription monthly again to open my school. And then the reason I bring that up is because prayer requests. You can join that school. It's for anyone who's Catholic or Christian or open to being Catholic Christian. But it's an explicitly Catholic space. It's called God's Family. And a lot's changed since I started it. But I'm getting to a spot where I want to engage with it again and do good stuff with it. So anyway, I got the fundraisers, guys. Rumble, yes, that's a kind of technical disaster. I want to get my videos up on there. But right now this is going on YouTube, and then I meant to say GoFundMe, the fundraiser. GiveSendGo is a Christian one. I like that platform better. It's the same fundraiser on both right now. And my locals account. School's not open right now because I'm not paying for it. And locals you can subscribe to. This is free. Actually, school's free too. School's free. I don't know if I made it sound like it wasn't, but right now, as of right now, and whenever I open it again, it was and will be free for the foreseeable future to join. And I might just keep it that way. Like, my big thing is I want to be able to do the videos, and I can't do the videos if I don't have money to do the videos and, like, support my basic needs. And I'm also, like, not in a great mindset if I'm, like, starving to make videos, you know? Like, it's not a cycle you want to fall into of, like, I'm already broke. You know, you want to try to avoid that. Or, like, I'm already starving because I'm broke. I don't want to go there. Or be homeless, you know, again. Okay. God bless you all. Have peaceful dreams. Or whenever you dream. Dude. I'm tired. To all my Indian viewers, thank you for watching. And everyone. Let me know what you think of the impressions. I'm kind of a funny guy. I love doing that kind of stuff. I've barely done it in any of the videos, and I kind of caught myself off guard with that. Okay. Jesus loves you. Peace be with you.